Hello there and welcome to Viewpoint. On this show, we discover perspective and embrace dialogue. My name is Pelumi Awe and I'm proud to be your host on the show today. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms to get real-time updates as to the many videos that we upload. On the show today, we will be discussing about something very important, which is about judges' remuneration. But before that, we will delve into some headlines. AFCC may grant Betta Edu bail later today. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) may grant the embattled and suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Betta Edu bail later in the day. Top sources within the anti-graft agency confirmed the development to Channels Television on Tuesday. Edu, 37 years of age, has been in the eye of the storm over a scandal that involved the approval of a payment of 585.2 million in a private account of a civil servant, attracting widespread criticism from rights groups and activists. She was suspended by President Bola Tinubu on Monday, who directed the AFCC to commence a probe into the allegation. Earlier, news sources reported Edu's arrival at the EFCC headquarters in Jabi, Abuja. She came alongside her aides and lawyer and is currently facing EFCC investigators. Edu's woes were compounded after the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Maiden, confirmed that although our office received a request from the Humanitarian Ministry to make certain payments, our office did not act on it. The next headline, Tinubu slashes delegation for FG's trip abroad. President Bola Tinubu has directed a major slash of travel delegations for all federal government official trips within and outside the country. Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, disclosed this on Tuesday during a press briefing at the State House in Abuja. He said the directive means a 60% slash across the board and affects all MDAs, including the Office of the President, Vice President, and First Lady. Additionally, when any international travel is being approved, the following limits have been placed on all ministers of the Federation. 4 members of their staff, appointees, and the like will be allowed to travel with the minister on an official trip. The number will be cut down to 5 in the case of the First Lady. Additionally, the number in the entourage on official international trips for Vice President will be cut to 5. The number that will be placed as a limit on the wife of the Vice President is also 5. Next headline is Fubara yet to present budget to Rivers Assembly, says Speaker. The crisis rocking Rivers State took a new twist on Tuesday as the lawmakers accused the state governor, Fubara, of not presenting the medium-term expenditure framework and the 2024 appropriation bill to the lawmakers. The Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amuruli, stated this during the first plenary of the Assembly, even as 2 bills which appear to weaken the governor and strengthen the Assembly scaled first reading on the floor of the House. Fubara had initially presented the budget of about 800 billion naira for 2024 to a 4-man House of Assembly for approval on December 13, 2023. The governor swiftly signed the budget into law on December 14, 2023, merely 24 hours after its presentation to the lawmakers. However, as part of the conditions to end the political crisis in the state under a peace accord facilitated by President Bola Tinubu, Fubara is expected to represent the budget. Fubara leads the 25 members of the House of Assembly who are loyal to the immediate past governor, Wike, who now serves as the FCT minister under President Bola Tinubu administration. Meanwhile, the governor is yet to respond to the lawmakers' demands. The next headline, soldier who verbally assaulted Sanwo-Olu arrested. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has condemned a viral verbal assault on Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State by persons claiming to be soldiers, saying the culprit has been apprehended. In the viral videos, some persons claiming to be officers of the Nigerian Army have verbally attacked the governor for ordering the arrest of someone believed to be a soldier who drove against traffic. But days later, the Chief of Army Staff said only one of those behind the video was a soldier and had been apprehended. Next headline is Permanent Secretary Eniton takes over from suspended Bita Edo. Following the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, the Minister's Permanent Secretary, Abel Olumuyiwa Eniton, has assumed responsibility for the ministry. His action is in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu, who suspended Edo on Monday over the alleged payment of public funds into private accounts. Eniton assumed responsibility after a letter to that effect from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation was given to him Monday night. We'll go for a short break. When we are back, we will delve into the issue with regards to judges' remuneration. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still Viewpoint. Remember, before we went on that break, I mentioned that we will be talking about judges' remuneration. Recently, President Bola Tinubu directed the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to evolve ways to enhance the remuneration of judges. The chairman of the commission, Mohammed Sheward, earlier announced that the salaries of elected politicians, legal and public officers would be increased by 114%. Although President Bola Tinubu backs this stance, nonetheless, he considers the suggested increment in the remuneration of legal officers unsuitable and in result instructed the commission to come up with a more realistic rate that will reflect the current economic status quo. The issue has incited a debate on the propriety of the privileged treatment being accorded to judges to the rejection of other public officers who are similarly faced with the harsh economic condition of the country. Some analysts have argued that giving exclusive preference to the pecuniary interests of a select few without corresponding consideration for the generality of the people is inequitably not right. And if we look at this way, Nigerian workers are contributing a significant quota in building the nation. I believe they are deserving of adequate compensation. Worse still, the national minimum wage remains a small 30,000 naira despite the rise in inflation. The 1999 Constitution mandates the government to control the national economy in such a manner as to secure the maximum welfare of every citizen based on social justice and equality of status. Therefore, any attempt by the government to isolate the interest of a singular class of people without making any appropriate arrangement to protect the rest of the society from the adverse effects of its economic policies, in my opinion, I would term as unjustifiably discriminatory. Nevertheless, the welfare of judicial officers is a matter of national interest. Judges are sui generis. By that I mean they occupy a distinct pedestal in the order of superior national precedence. The importance of the judicial sector in fostering national integration, stability, growth, and development cannot be overemphasized. Nigeria is one of the most litigious countries in the world, and the resulting enormous workload placed on our adjudicators is quite burdensome. Effective justice dispensation requires tremendous mental, physical, and psychological exertion. Therefore, to strive a balance, judges should be entitled to rewarding emoluments. Across democratic jurisdiction, the judiciary is one of the most revered institutions in the society. Judges are charged with the ultimate decision over the life, freedoms, rights, duties, and properties of all persons in a given territory. Simply put, the words of a judge are literally and figuratively the law, eternal and majestic. Unarguably, justice dispensation is one of the most tasking and self-sacrificing professional calling in human endeavor. Once a judicial officer assumes office, he is no longer a society person, but is expected to hold himself aloof from the public to maintain impartiality, neutrality, and independence. In the words of a former Chief Justice of Canada, Marvelly McLeish, the task facing the modern judge isn't an easy one, but it's one of critical importance. If we fail, the rule of law will fail. It is as simple as that. If they fail, the rule of law will fail. It is as simple as that. By implication, with this statement, I'll be right to say that the judiciary is the pillar on which society stands. Judges, no doubt, deserve quality social security entitlement. In contrast, the salaries of Nigerian judges, which was last reviewed in 2007, are unimaginably ridiculous in comparison with their contemporaries in other climes. Magistrates are now abandoning the courtroom in search of greener pastures elsewhere. This is so painful. Truth be told, the Nigerian judiciary needs to raise its standard to meet public expectations. Conflicting and controversial judgments churned out by the courts are worrisome. This reinforces the call for urgent judicial reforms. To place the citadel of justice on the right footing, a holistic reformation is necessary. This would entail a merit-based recruitment process, periodic performance assessment, review of controversial judgments, activation of internal disciplinary mechanisms against erring jurists, providing of a conducive and safe workplace, quality remuneration package, amongst others. Lately, the undue descent of the political class into the judicial arena has tended to cast doubt on the integrity and independence of the judiciary. The weightier issue is the propriety of the president deciding the salaries of judges. Just that we may be informed, frankly speaking, the power to determine the remuneration, salaries, and allowances of federal judges is solely concentrated in the RMAFC. Consequently, it is a constitutional aberration for the president to issue directives to RMAFC in that regard. Undeniably, the impartiality of the judiciary will be impaired if the chief executives, both the president and governors, prescribe the salaries of judicial officers. After all, he who pays the piper dictates the tone. Accordingly, RMAFC should be allowed to discharge its constitutional obligations without interference. To safeguard the constitutionally guaranteed independence of judges, the judiciary must be financially autonomous. It is constitutionally empowered to handle its affairs and as such should not be dragging or drawing its statutory financial entitlement from the executive. It is not a duty of the chief executives to pay judges' salaries, erect court buildings, and other judicial facilities. These actions are calculated to carry judicial favors. The welfare of federal judges is not a matter subject to presidential approval. It is purely under the purview of the RMAFC. While the decision of RMAFC to review the salaries of judges is commendable, the Commission should come up with a figure that is fair and realistic with the current state of the Nigerian economy. Thank you for joining me on the show today, Viewpoint. Looking forward to you joining me tomorrow as we discuss something even important. My name is Oluwapelumiawe, and I encourage you to follow us on all our social media platforms once again. See you in the next episode. All right.